guys, it is me, Tanya, founder of the TNG Designs Group Limited. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about how do I create a logo for my small business, big business, whatever size business you have. How do you create one? Well, there are many ways to go about doing so, but I'm going to share with you exactly how you can do it specifically in a nice, easy and straightforward kind of a way, but that literally just helps you to get up and running in the right kind of a way. Because 9 times out of 10, the average business owner, the average brand starter, if you like, will literally just start their brand or start their business, slap any old thing against their name and think and call that a logo just because they thought it was pretty or just because they really liked it. I'm going to just stop that right there, and I want to make sure that you're actually just tapping into a couple of things before you actually go to finalize your logo, even whatever stage of business that you are at, okay? So before you get stuck into this video, as always, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel, because I want to make sure that you get reminded, specifically when you go ahead and click on that bell. I want to make sure that you get reminded or even alerted as to when I actually go ahead and upload a new video, because I've got a lot to share with you guys, specifically about branding, specifically about logo creation, specifically about how you can build the awareness of what it is that you do and really why it is that you do it. Because folks, representation matters, and it's important that you specifically get seen as a business and an amazing brand identity that you are, so that others can also be made aware as to why it is that you do what you do specifically. That being said, folks, let's just get stuck into this and make sure you stick around to the very end, because I've got something super cool to be able to share with you. So let's continue and let's go. So as I said, we're going to be talking about how to create a logo for your business, small business, big business, however size business it may be, and equally brand too, right? So 3 things. I always give you things in bite-sized chunks, specifically for a very good reason, because I want you to remember them and I want you to take note of them. And usually between 3 and 5 is usually a good sweet spot number. So just remember that as an FYI, a little tip, added tip there. And these 3 things that I want to share with you will literally help you to create a logo for your business in a way that sits congruent to your brand, your beliefs, what it is that you do and why it is that you do it. And there's 3 things that I want to make sure that you are actually considering when it comes to building your logo or creating your logo, okay? The first thing I want you to consider is the idea of your values. So consider your values, consider what it is that you do. Specifically, we're going to talk about business. So specifically to the outcome of your business that you want your customers, your clients, your audience to get from you. What is that outcome? Because remember, when we're talking about business brands in general, business brands will always pertain to the idea as to what your audience wants. It's not about you directly. It's about them. Always remember that it's about them. For personal brands, however, it's going to be about you, right? So that's when you can focus on what those values should be. So specifically think about what is the business or what specifically is the brand that you want to concentrate on, and think, what is that outcome that you want when it comes to business for them, for your audience, for your clients, for your customer? What is that specifically? When you consider that specifically, believe it or not, your values can steer everything from the type of color that you should have for your logo, from the type of font that you should have for your logo, from the type of messaging or strapline that you should also have sitting with your logo. Your values actually carry a hell of a lot of weight, more so than what you actually think. And I always tell my clients specifically, or anybody who's actually watching my platforms, on any of my platforms, to always lead with your values, because they will help you to make those clear-cut decisions for yourself. And more specifically, they actually make sense because you've actually addressed your actual values. You've actually addressed what it is that you do and why it is that you've done it. When you tap into your values, your colors, as I said, your fonts, as I said, your strapline, as I said, will make sense to you. I can't tell you enough like how annoying it is when I come across people and they don't get why they've chosen specific things, or they don't get why this specific logo isn't actually suited to them because they haven't addressed their values, because they didn't take the time to look into their values. But believe you me, folks, that whole process, that value search, that whole value recognition that you have, the value basics that you have, it's not a long process because you already have that knowledge, but you just have to vocalize it. You have to write it down and put it onto a bit of paper to make it make sense. So that's the first thing to consider. Second thing I'd like you to consider is the idea of the vision. What is the vision? What is the vision of why you're doing what you're doing, right? What is the vision of your business? And here's what I mean by that. the vision of what it is that you're doing, aside from where you actually want to see your business going, right? Because we're talking specifically about business in this respect. Aside from you actually want to seeing where, having that vision as to what that vision is about, what is it that you're doing? What is that product for? Who is that product that you're actually delivering to? Or how is it that product can actually take your customer, your client, your audience from one stage to the next? What is that thing? What is that device? What is that element? If it helps you, switch out the word product for service as well. What is that thing that you are wanting to create for your person, for your audience, for your customer, your client, to be able to help them to move? Because when you consider what that is, again, the form, the idea, the shape, the styling of your logo will become all the more apparent because you get what that vision is. You get what the endpoint is, or you get where that goal is going to be, but equally you also get what it is that you're doing for people. And nicely, it lends itself onto this next thing to consider, which is the idea of considering your purpose, because those two specifically, they go hand in hand. And actually, so does the third one. So it's a big loop. But more specifically, when you think about your purpose, that vision becomes all the more apparent. So we address the purpose, address the real reason as to why you're doing what you're doing. Address and even consider that real reason as to why you're doing what you're doing. Because again, your clarity around that vision, your clarity around your values becomes all the more apparent. You've created your product, you've created your service for a very, very good reason. You just now need to take the time to understand what that reason is. And the reason why you need to take that time to be able to understand what that is not only so you can consider it, like I just shared with you here, to create your logo. It actually helps you to understand how you can actually speak to your audience a little bit better. And I say a little bit better, a hell of a lot better, because you now know the type of language you need to use for them. And I've actually created a whole video with regards to the, how you're speaking to your audience. And I will share a little card somewhere around here, key card, just to be able to just go ahead and just watch that video, because I want you to be able to understand how to speak to your audience in a way that literally hits home on the real reason why they need to come and work with you, on the real reason why they need to pay attention to you more specifically. So there we have it, folks. 3 things to consider. I want to make sure that you are considering your values. I want to make sure that you're considering your vision, and equally I want to make sure that you're considering your purpose as well. Those 3 things all go hand in hand, and those 3 things are what's going to be able to help you to create a logo for your small business, for your big business, for whatever size business you have. It will be able to help you to do so. Now, that aside, I want to make sure you're doing this next thing, okay? And this is my gift from me to you. I actually want to share this with you, share this link with you. More specifically, it's a link that you can actually find in the description box below. Now, this specific link, it's not my usual gift that I want to give to you, but it's something different. Now, this specific link will actually help you to take it that one step further, especially when it comes to the idea of creating your logo, okay? Your logo specifically will be 10 times better than what you would have thought it could be, just because you've just addressed these few things. Now, it's actually a course. It's a course that I want you to be able to just go ahead and just do. It's not going to take up much of your time at all. And in fact, you can actually create your logo in under a day as well. If you go ahead and just stick to each and every one of these modules, you can actually create your logo within the day and actually tap into things that are relevant to you specifically. So click on the link that's in the description box below. Go ahead and just get stuck into it. There are ways and resources to be able to find out how you can get additional help if you need to. You can be able to reach back out to me if you need to. But more specifically, I want you to be able to just go ahead and just take all these little added instruments or increments as well to be able to build your logo up. If you're not the type of person who does have the actual time to be able to just go ahead and create it for themselves, that's absolutely fine. No worries at all. Thankfully for you, there are ways to be able to go around doing so. Now, my team and I can actually make sure that that happens for you. So here's what I'd like you to do. Literally just send me a message, send me in the comments to be able to say, Tan, do you know what? I need some help with my logo. So guess what? We'll be able to reach out to you and we'll be able to make sure that you get your logo created for you as it should be created. So folks, I'm going to leave it there. Make sure you go ahead and just take me up on that advantage, because it will benefit you with regards to, number one, understanding how to create a logo for your small business, but two, figuring out, if you don't actually have much time on your side, what else you can actually do to be able to make sure that you get your logo created in a way that is congruent to you, your brand, what it is that you stand for, but more specifically, create a logo that actually resonates with the audience that are going to be coming to work with you. So folks, I'm going to leave it there. Please go ahead and like, subscribe to this channel as always, and more specifically, I will see you on the other side.